the beginning of 2026, the Gulf looked stable. Trade was flowing, flights were moving. Cities like Dubai and Abu Dhabi stood as symbols of growth and security. But beneath that calm, tension was rising. Across the region, global powers were increasing pressure around Iran. Military positioning was growing. Diplomatic signals were hardening. Nothing had happened yet, but leaders could see what was coming. So on January 26, 2026, the United Arab Emirates acted early. It announced that its airspace, territory, and waters would not be used for any hostile military action against Iran. This was not a reaction, it was prevention. A signal to the world. The UAE would not become a battlefield.
It's been pretty unprecedented what's happened, and almost unhinged, I would say, to have Iran lash out at the very people who've been calling for de-escalation, who've been calling for this war to never actually even start.
February 28, 2026. The pressure turned into reality. After US and Israeli strikes on Iran, Iran responded. Missiles and drones were launched toward Gulf Arab states, including the UAE. In Abu Dhabi, one civilian was killed. Flights were grounded. Airspace tightened. In a single night, the Gulf changed. The warning of January 26th had become real. In the first hours after the attack, the UAE did not escalate. Instead, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed moved quickly. He spoke with the Saudi Crown Prince. Both leaders urged restraint and diplomacy. This mattered, because the region was at a tipping point. One wrong move could turn retaliation into full-scale war. March 2nd, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed called Russia's president. The message was precise. The UAE was not being used as a base to attack Iran, and therefore, it should not be targeted. This was strategy, not just defense, but positioning. The UAE was shaping how it would be seen in the conflict, not as a participant, but as a stabilizer. March 4th, something unusual happened. Life continued. Malls stayed open. People walked the streets. Dubai projected normality. But beneath that surface, flights were grounded. Markets were disrupted. Residents prepared for uncertainty. This was controlled resilience, a nation refusing to collapse under pressure. March 7th, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed visited the wounded. Then he said, "We are no easy prey."
ترى الإمارات يلدها غليظ ولحمتها مرة نحن.
This was not just defiance, it was reassurance to citizens, to residents, to the world. The UAE had been struck, but it remained standing. March 14th, the conflict reached deeper. Fujairah, the UAE's key oil outlet outside Hormuz, was hit. A drone strike caused fire. Oil operations slowed. This was critical because Fujairah was the UAE's alternative route, a way to bypass the Strait of Hormuz. Now even that was under threat. By mid-March, more than 20,000 seafarers were trapped in Gulf waters. Ships stopped moving, routes were blocked. Some saw fires in the distance, others heard drones above them. They were not part of the war, but they were inside it. March 18th, the UAE joined international efforts to create a safe maritime corridor. The goal, to free stranded ships, to protect civilians, to stabilize global trade.
This was no longer just national defense, it was global responsibility. April 6th, the UAE raised the stakes diplomatically. It declared, the Strait of Hormuz must remain open. It cannot be controlled or blocked by any country. This was a message to the world. The crisis was not just about conflict. It was about the stability of the global system.
Well, long-term wars aren't a good idea across the board. And so we are hopeful that we are going to be able to see a resolution to this sooner rather than later.
April 7th, a ceasefire was agreed. April 8th, Hormuz reopened. Oil prices dropped. Markets surged. For a moment, the crisis paused, but the peace did not hold. April 13th, a naval blockade escalated tensions again. Ships turned back. Uncertainty returned. April 19th, Hormuz closed once more. 2 ships were attacked. Markets weakened. The crisis was not over. This crisis was not about who controlled the Strait of Hormuz. It was about who controlled their response to it.
They wanted to close up the strait again, as they've been doing for years, and they can't blackmail us.
The UAE did not escalate. It did not collapse. It chose restraint. It chose diplomacy. It chose stability. From January 26th to April 19th, through missiles, fear, and uncertainty, it held its position. And in a region pushed to the edge of war, that choice may have mattered more than anything else.
وترقى في صعود انت لي عليتنا فوق السحاب كل يوم بفعلك السامي تجود وان ذكرنا الفعل ما يكفيك دار يا بحر يا عيد يا نبع الفهود يا سفر يا غيث يا الليث المهاب لك صدوق الوعد وافينا العهود ما نهاب الموت والله ما نهاب.
This documentary was brought to you by AJ BELPAK, a strategic marketing and media firm dedicated to powerful storytelling across the Gulf and beyond. We specialize in crafting narratives that connect leadership, vision, and global audiences. For official collaborations, campaigns, or strategic media initiatives, AJ BELPAK remains available to support institutions and leadership platforms seeking impactful communication. This production is based on publicly available research and reporting. While every effort has been made to ensure accuracy, the content is presented for informational and documentary purposes.